That's what's up, guys. Stay hydrated. Hey, everybody, Marcos Villegas here, doing our weekly live chat fan Q&A with you guys, our beloved subscribers. I'll let you guys, so I'll give this a second to let you guys filter in and funnel in so we can go ahead and talk. A lot of stuff that happened over the weekend, MMA and boxing, a lot of good fights actually, so I wanted to go ahead and touch on that. Almighty Diamond 700619, what's up, bro? How's it going? Thanks for joining into the live chat. Wickedy Split, hey, what up, man? How's it going, bro? Like I mentioned, for you guys that are just tuning in right now, hello, by the way, thanks for tuning in. Go ahead and talk about the action that's happened over the weekend, both MMA and in boxing. A lot of good stuff. A lot of blood, goriness, broken noses, and surprise knockouts over the weekend. So Khalid Farah, what's up, man? Raiz Ahmad, how's it going, bro? Thanks for joining in with us of our live chat. So I'll talk a little bit about Juan Ochoa. What up, man? And Floyd won that fight against Oscar. We'll go and recap the fights that happened over the weekend, and then if there's a question that pops up or if there's a response you guys want to go ahead and you just have to get in, go ahead and say it. Before we start, make sure to check the latest unboxing that we have on the YouTube channel. We went ahead and unboxed some limited edition white Reeboks that were very similar to the ones that Conor McGregor wore in his Mayweather versus McGregor fight. We will have another unboxing video happening on Saturday at 11 a.m. Pacific time. We will be unboxing the gloves that Conor McGregor wore for that Mayweather fight. So make sure to tune into the channel. Excuse me. That's Saturday for the next unboxing video. We're trying to work on a video in which we're trying to use those gloves to bust open watermelons. I want to go ahead and bring a pro fighter in to go ahead and do that. And I want to do it in slow motion. So that's what we're working on right now as well. The face-off between David Lemieux and Billy Joe Saunders happened, and I'm hoping that we get some sort of footage from Montreal of that face-off. We'll have that up on the channel as well. So let's get right to it. I have this trail mix bag, and see this? I can't open it now. It's terrible. All right. Oh, actually, I just figured it out. So I just finished watching the Bellator MMA fight with Heather Hardy, and of course Heather Hardy has had one prior MMA fight. She's undefeated in boxing. She comes from the world of boxing, and she wanted to give MMA a try because of money, financial reasons. They pay more in MMA than they do at boxing at this point of her career. So she had a successful first MMA fight, though. She showed a lot of vulnerabilities in that fight. I watched it. She was susceptible to a lot of punches, a lot of shots. And they go and they match her up with a girl named Christina Williams, who did a phenomenal job. And she's making her MMA debut, but she did not fight like she was a debut fighter. She's gonna be really, really good, you could tell. But in the broadcast during Heather's fight, mentioned that this girl was a black belt in Taekwondo, longer reach than her. She's had a few amateur MMA fights, and yeah, you're on paper you're thinking like, well, Heather's a world champion in boxing, she's undefeated. You still would give the advantage over to Heather Hardy. But I think, Jello, you make a good point, man. You make a good point. But I think Bellator miscalculated with that matchup. I think that was a bad matchup, extremely bad matchup for someone like Heather Hardy, who is still getting used to kicks. Still dips down with her style because of boxing. There's a lot of dipping down. And this girl, I think the red flag right away should have been she's a black belt in Taekwondo. That should have been a red flag already for the Bellator people and Hardy's team. We'll be like, nah, we'll take another fight. Let's stick her to people that are mostly strikers with no kicks. They just come in with punches and brawl. And she's learning from pretty much scratch. and they threw her in with this girl, and this girl kicked the crap out of her, to be honest. The first round, Heather was already getting hit with leg kicks. She had, I think, a busted lip in that first round. She was already bleeding. And then in the second round, yeah, she does kickboxing, but not. It's a very low-level kickboxing. Not compared to a girl who's a black belt in Taekwondo, who's very versed in leg kicks, who's taller than you and already has a longer reach. What's up, James? How's it going, bro? So I think it was a bad match for Heather Hardy. Yeah, she's not a high-level K1 kickboxer. She's a very basic kickboxer. She's had some kickboxing experience. Now you throw in a girl who's a black belt in Taekwondo, has a longer reach. I just think they should have done their homework more. It's a very bad matchup for Heather. So in the second round, Heather dips and eats a leg kick right in the face, breaks her nose. She's a bloody freaking mess. She looks like a jack-o'-lantern that got cut up on Halloween, man. Duke, gotta watch it, man. It was a good fight between Heather and the girl Christina Williams. They stopped the fight. Yeah, her nose was broken. If you see pictures of Heather Hardy on her Instagram and on social media, we actually posted the video of the stoppage. It's just waterfall, just pouring blood on her face. If we've seen with anything with Bellator, their high-level signees sometimes don't work out, or when they try to push somebody, they don't work out. In this instance, bad matchmaking with Heather. They should not put her in with someone like her. Anna Julaton just signed with Bellator. She just lost as well. I know they were going to try to build up towards a fight between her and Heather Hardy. Though I think Anna has made a very good transition to MMA. This wasn't her first rodeo. She's had a lot of MMA fights already in Asia with ONE FC. And I heard from other people on social media, they felt that Anna won the fight. So I'm just saying, in general, the high-profile signings for Bellator hasn't really worked out. When Josh Koscheck got signed over, I believe he lost. Benson Henderson, another thing that kind of was a bust for Bellator as well. So just think in the terms of Heather, they should have been a little bit more careful with the matchmaking, because now she's broken nose, she can't box. She's going to be suspended for at least 6 months. And, what's going to happen now? If she's going to make a transition to MMA, I think she can't be bouncing around sports. In MMA, you got to be good at everything. And I think this fight showed the reason why. Because the people in MMA now, they're not just these wild, swinging guys in MMA anymore. These bar brawlers. No, I don't, Richard. I'm just starving, haven't eaten anything. They're not these bar brawlers anymore. They're very technical guys that know their art. They're good at everything. They're jack of all trades. I just, you know what? Bad matchmaking is extremely apparent in all combat sports right now, And I touched on this last week with what has happened with Jello Wanderlei. No, but yeah, okay. Wanderlei was very wild, punchy, very crazy, but I guess there was a science behind it. He's so aggressive, and later on when people started catching on because he was so wide and loopy, people could go and counterpunch him. But the other thing with Wanderlei you had to deal with, which there was a lot of skill involved. He was a black belt in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, and because of the Chuta box school, he was very good in the clinch and very good with throwing knees and kicks. So Mayweather McGregor was very bad matchmaking. It was just that was just all money, to be honest, all money. But back to the point I was saying, you're seeing matchmaking very bad right now in combat sports from me observing, because I used the example last week of some of the prospects that we're seeing in boxing. They're getting thrown way too early against these other guys, and I see it as two schools of thought. One, well, let's throw them all in there, and only the strong survive, and the ones that survive are the ones that are worthy of the push, the publicity, being promoted. But on the other hand, you have these young guys that they haven't fully matured or fully gotten their potential brought out of them yet, and you're throwing them into these fights with guys that are just a lot more developed already, and you're in a way cutting their careers or their earning potential in their careers a little bit short. They'll take the loss, and there's a chance that, well, if you're dehydrated, get some of this pH water. pH water hydrates you on a hot day. See if I get some extra money from Perfect Hydration. Okay, great. I lost my train of thought, guy. Thanks, Wickety. Yeah. So you don't know if they're ever going to be the same because of that loss. Lubin against Charlo. I have no idea why they made that fight. No, I live in SoCal, Jello. I know. It's really, really hot today compared to all the other days. I Am Legend Boxing, exactly. Charlo versus Lubin. Laura versus Gassy. Another reason. Another example. Some of the fights that happen on FS1 for PBC, you're seeing prospects that are like 14-0 going up against other guys that are 11-0, 12-0. And just makes you like scratch your head and think like, well, don't you want to build this guy up? This guy is still very raw. He still hasn't developed. Why are you throwing him in with a prospect like that when he himself is not the finished product yet? Like, there goes your investment. There goes all that time built up promoting this guy, and you're risking it all. Like, why are you gonna do that? And yeah, I understand people that would be like, well, shit, man, that's the problem with boxing. All these fighters are protected. Da. I understand that, but when you're 14-0, 13-0, 11-0, you're still learning. You're still very green to the game. Now, someone who's 34-0 and is getting fights like that, that's a whole different situation. But when it's a young guy with not a lot of fights, for me personally, if I was their manager, if I was their matchmaker, I wouldn't put them in fights like that. I'd want to get my ROI out of them, and I would know too that, hey, they're still very green, they're still growing. I'm not going to put them in these fights with a guy who has a lot more experience, has better training partners, or is just a bad match for my guy this early on in the stage of his career. So back to the point that I was making with Heather Hardy. As soon as they said she's a black belt in Taekwondo, I felt, why did they put this girl in with her? Like, why would they do that to Heather? They should have never presented her as an opponent. Not until the 5th fight, probably. Not until she has a good year and a half, 2 years in practicing MMA to go against a gal who has that much experience in kicking it, and it showed. Broken nose. So, Rosada versus Glenn Tapia happened over the last week on Thursday. It was tough for me to watch because I'm torn in the issue of Glenn Tapia. He's a good dude, great father, but he's lost his last 4 fights, I believe. This might be the 5th one. And you don't want to see a guy take unnecessary damage when they don't have to. And he's been knocked out a lot over the last few years. He's received a lot of damage in his fights. He seems a step slower as well. And, I think it's up to his management to push him in the right direction. They're the ones that see him day in, day out. They see how he performs in the gym, how he is, and even Glenn himself knows his body, knows how it is. So obviously on the surface, we all want him to not end up damaged with any sort of CTE and any sort of boxer's dementia when he's older. But when you're losing to, and that, if he would have lost a decision, it would have been fine with me, but he's getting knocked out a lot. He's taking a lot of damage, so I think it might be time to rethink things or reorganize or take a year or 2 off from boxing to work on your fundamentals. And you know what? A lot of people are asking for Glenn to retire. Certainly, if you're dropping 4 or 5 losses in a row and you're taking a lot of unnecessary blows to the head, that's certainly a thing you should certainly take seriously and into account, because he does have a beautiful, beautiful baby girl. I watch his Instagram all the time, and I admire him for how good of a dad he is to that little girl. But you know, he got I think it's his team really got to rally around him and figure things out. And I think maybe at this point, might be a viable option to go ahead and hang up the gloves. Now, Rosado, you know, people are writing Rosado off. The last fight that he had with Martin Murray, a lot of people felt that Martin Murray won the fight. So Rosado still has a lot to give in fights. So with this win right here, and he did it via stoppage, Rosado looked good. He was boxing. There was at some points that Glenn Tapia landed some good punches, and he moved Rosado back, moved him back a bit. I thought Rosado looked sharp, though. He looked good. And yeah, you know, you guys could say, like, well, you know, it was against Glenn Tapia. Of course he's going to look good, you know. But there's certain things in there, you know, that you could see regardless of the opponent. You could say, like, hey, you know what? He looks better. He looks sharp. And for the first time in a while, I saw a very composed, he looked sharp. He looked quicker than he usually does in fights. So to me, Gabe looked good. And you know, there's the one thing about Gabe Rosado is he's never really in a boring fight. He always gives a good account of himself. And he always is involved in very good fights. So I want to see him keep fighting. I like Gabe Rosado. I like watching him fight. Let's see. What other fights happened over the weekend, guys? The surprise KO stoppage of Donald Cerrone against the Till, I believe. I don't know. If you guys are MMA people, any MMA people on here, when I ask, well, why are they accusing this kid of steroids? That's what I want to know. So if you guys could comment on that or whatever. So we'll see. But Eubank sparring on Snapchat was beautiful footage. It looked like 60 frames with the snap. Have you used the Snapchat spectacles? Those things are crazy. They're pretty cool. Lemieux versus Canelo, make it happen. Yeah, I do not have the magic, Wickedy. I have no magic whatsoever. No magic. Yeah, people can't handle the fact that Cerrone got stopped. I guess so. Like, I'm just, where did these accusations come from? That's what I want to know. You know, why are they accusing me? Cerrone ate a straight. What do you expect is going to happen? Doesn't matter how hard you punch. I've always told people this. Does not matter. This chin, this area right here, is only going to take and can only take a certain amount of pounds per square inch, and anybody in the world will get knocked out. A feather-fisted fighter can hit you right here, and not even hard. If he just hits you perfectly, it's going to put you out. Case in point, for you guys that are like, nah, come on, Marcos, you know, like, the guy has a good chin, da-da-da-da-da. Watch James Kirkland versus Ishida. Ishida is not a power puncher, but he caught James Kirkland flush coming in, and he knocked him out cold. That's a perfect example of what I'm talking about. So, okay, Jello's talking a little bit about the Cerrone Till knockout. Yeah, how did that even start? That's what I want to know. How did this steroid stuff start? I have no idea, you know. He looked sharp. He looked good. Cerrone just got caught. Like, people deal with it. Like, you get caught. That's what happens in combat sports. You win some, you lose some. You get caught. It's part of the sport. McGregor versus Khan. Come on, Frederick. No one wants to see no McGregor versus Khan. Get out of here, man. Groves Eubank is going to happen, which is good. That was a good little... sorry about that, guys. The camera. That was a good little knockout by George Groves through the stomach. You know, if you ever have been hit by a body shot in the gym, I have. It's not pretty. It's a delayed reaction, and it's weird. You'll get hit. Three things happen. Now I want to say two. So when you get hit with a body punch, a delayed reaction happens where you get hit and you're fine, and then it feels like you get all the air sucked out of you, and you get this like pain that like disables you. You're like, you get hit, and you're like, and you're like, oh shit, and you can't do anything. You freeze. The other one is you get hit with the body shot because the guy's on you. He's hearing your breathing. If you're breathing fast, he's trying to time your breathing, and he's trying to time it when you exhale to land a body shot, so it knocks all the wind out of you. So you're like, and then you fall. And that's both has happened to me. So, Gassiev knocked out his Polish opponent over the weekend. I've always felt that we could see a Gassiev-Usyk final in the World Boxing Super Series for cruiserweight. But you know what? I was starting to think that Dorticos, the Cuban fighter that got a knockout as well, could end up actually being the dark horse and could maybe make it to the final. Gassiev has trouble with boxers, but it's been a while since he's fought like a very technical boxer. I had to do research for 2 of his fights for FS1. I'm going to pull it up. He fought a Crunk fighter, and it ended up being a no contest because Gassiev hit the guy after the bell by accident, and the guy said he couldn't continue. And that guy was giving Gassiev problems with being able to reach him. He was a long fighter. I'm going to look it up right now. But I see, you know, Usyk, his amateur background, he's going to box. So I already see an advantage on paper there for him. But Gassiev has game-changing power. One punch and you're out. Let's see the kid that gave Gassiev problems. It was a FS1 show. It was like in a little city. I might have been there, actually. I'm trying to remember. Isaiah Thomas. That's the guy that... wow, he has 2 losses now. Oh, shit. Who did he lose to? 2 straight losses. Michael Hunter, the heavyweight Michael Hunter? And Noel Grever. Oh, that's news to me, man. Oh, he had a fight in Germany. Wow. Yeah, it was a no contest at the Palms in Las Vegas back in 2015. Oh, great. My cat just threw up. Oh, wow. That's awesome. That's what happens when you're live. Shit. Fuck. Should probably clean up after the little guy. We might have a shorter live stream now because my cat just vomited all over the kitchen. Go clean it, bro. Yeah, I'm thinking about cleaning it. All right, it's all right. All right, hold on. You guys, I gotta pause real quick because I gotta. And now he's going to sniff it. What are you doing? Oh no, I think he's gonna throw up again. This is what happens when you're live. All right, don't leave, guys. I gotta clean this shit up real quick. I feel bad for my cat. All right, hold on 1 second. Not a hairball. It's I don't know. It might be a hairball. It's like a puddle of vomit. Yeah. All right. Give me a second, guys. Can't believe this just happened right now. Give me a second. Oh, it's a hairball. Ugh. Freeze, yo. Okay, Grish? You alright, little guy? You okay? Alright, guys. Had to take care of that business. Man, I tell you. So my cat, it's like a baby cat. All right, it's a little kid. That was his first hairball. I'm telling you, man, having baby pets is like having a kid, man. Jesus. They wake you up at like 6, 7 in the morning because they want to get fed. You got to clean up after their poop. You got to like be conscious of like where you go because you can't leave them alone for too long. Dang. All right, so after cleaning up vomit successfully, let's go ahead and get back to your guys' questions. Okay. Let's see here. No vomit on my shirt, thank God. What do you guys think is a 50-50 fight? Frederick, what are you guys talking about? Let's see here. Rigondeaux, Lomachenko, we will talk about that right now. Richard Kerr. Yo, so the Rigondeaux Lomachenko fight, man, I'm curious to see how Lomachenko's gonna approach the fight. If he's gonna stand in the middle of the ring and box, or if he thinks that he has to go and chase a Rigondeaux and make the fight happen because Rigondeaux is just gonna move around, stay on the ropes, and be defensive. Wilder versus Joshua, 50-50 fight. I would think a lot of people would not think that, to be honest. I think a lot of people would choose Anthony Joshua to win that fight, to be honest. I don't think they would say it's a 50-50 because Joshua, it seems to be the more technical fighter at this point of his career. And he beat Klitschko, man. He looked good in Klitschko. So, back to the World Boxing Super Series. I just want to touch on something real quick. For you people that have been watching the fight, those fights, and if there's anybody that is casual or is just coming in, hello, welcome you over to the channel. We spoke earlier about Heather Hardy getting her nose busted, and Julaton losing in her Bellator debut. Cerrone getting stopped by Till, and why people are saying Till's on steroids for some weird reason. So we touched on that. Steve Salivar says Usyk versus Dorticos will be the final. You know what? I started seeing that. Yeah, 5 o'clock beer. This is a week of not shaving. It's terrible. I can't grow facial hair. And I started seeing that maybe Dorticos could be the dark horse in this tournament because I scored a fight that Gassy have had against Isaiah Thomas in 2015 at the Palms in Las Vegas. I believe it was either for FS1 or Spike. I'm not sure. I believe it was for Spike. It was a Spike TV show. I was the unofficial scorer. And Gassiev was having a lot of trouble with this kid, with Isaiah Thomas, with his lateral movement, his reach. And he was making it very, very difficult for Gassiev to land anything because he was able to keep him away. That fight ultimately ended in a no contest. He hit him after the bell, and he couldn't continue. But because of that, it got me thinking, Dorticos looks like he's a really good boxer. And if he could box Gassiev, I think he could end up pulling off the upset. And we could see maybe a Dorticos versus Usyk in the final. Usyk, for my viewing taste, has been very underwhelming at this point. Though he does end up stopping his opponents. I'm going to pull up his box recs right now. He just hasn't looked exciting to me, to be honest. You know, sometimes I'll get bored in his fights, man. I'm not going to sugarcoat it, you know. Sometimes he ends up knocking the guy out, but it takes him a while. So Usyk fought Marco Hooks. He beat him via TKO, but before that, out of 3 fights, he has 2 stoppages, which is not bad, but it takes him a while to go ahead and do that. Yeah, the Gassiev Thomas card was on the Spike card. Yeah, Bartholomew versus Shavakov, which was a good fight. And I thought Bartholomew fought a weird fight. I wasn't expecting him to fight the way he did in that fight. So, with that being said, I could see Dorticos making it to the final. Can he beat Usyk? I don't know. Who knows? All right, guys, I'm scrolling through your guys' questions. Go ahead and shoot me some questions for those of you who are on the chat with us right now. Featherweight in next series, by the looks of it. Welterweight, hopefully, because it's easy to set up the featherweight fights. I think the reasoning behind the tournaments is to do it in divisions that don't get a lot of publicity or need the publicity, need the push. So I think, which is why they chose super middleweight and cruiserweight, because those right now, there's not a big name at super middleweight. There hasn't been one since Andre Ward left the division. Yeah, the void's been filled by DeGale and Jack, but those guys just moved up to 175, so there's no one there, to be honest. Cruiserweight, historically speaking, cruiserweight has never gotten any real publicity because people expect those cruiserweights to go make the jump to heavyweight. I guess you could do a light heavyweight tournament. You got Sergey Kovalev there, but who else do you have? Adonis Stevenson? Other than that, who else is there? Andre Ward beat the best guy at light heavyweight. So if we do see a tournament, and they are thinking with that sort of thinking, like what division needs the push? What division is it where the champions or the other top contenders are not so caught up with money and rights and where they fight that they can go ahead and enter the tournament and be okay with it? And it's either going to be divisions like cruiserweight, super middleweight, 130 pounds, and the lighter weights that I feel would be perfect candidates for a tournament like that. Beterbiev is a beast in hiding, man. He's this guy, Beterbiev. Once it's his time, I don't see a lot of people being able to handle his pressure and how he fights. Usyk isn't fighting Jack. Usyk's next fight is Jesus, they just announced it too. Hey, thanks, Wickedy. Really appreciate it, man. Hey, Damien, you make a good point. A lot of people feel that. Breedis. Yeah, Breedis. I met Breedis in Florida. Damien, you make a good point. A lot of people do feel that. So, Steve, I met Breedis in Florida last year at the WBC convention, and he's like boxing's Crow Cop, where he's an active police person in Georgia, I believe, and he's also happens to be world champion too. So Usyk versus Breedis should be a good fight. I'm gonna be honest, I'm not too familiar with the fights of Breedis. I think I've only seen clips of him fighting, so I'm not really sure what kind of style he has, but it's gonna be a tough fight for anybody going up against a guy like Usyk, who has so much amateur experience, who's very technical, and who can crack as well. Oh, you're asking who would win, Usyk or Badu Jack? That'd be a really good fight, actually, because I like the way Badu Jack's been fighting lately, to be honest. Coming forward, targeting the body. It's a really good fight. Well, if Usyk can use his jab and keep Badu Jack away from him and create distance, I could see him winning a unanimous decision. But if Badu Jack just brings it to him, comes in really great condition, and just makes it a street fight, a grinder, I could see him actually stopping Usyk, to be honest, with just the work rate and all that. But that'd be a great fight. Hopefully the winner of the tournament will have or go into fights with Badu Jack or James DeGale. That'd be great. And you know what? I want to see the rematch between Badu Jack and James DeGale. I felt watching the fight from this couch, this very couch with Miss Yoga Flame right here, that Badu Jack actually won the fight for me. What do you got? What about you guys? Did you feel that Jack won the fight or DeGale won the fight? He can't have children anymore. That's funny, man. Frederick says he won the fight. Steve says that Jack won the fight. I agree with you, Steve. I felt that Badu Jack won the fight as well. James DeGale's sister, though. James DeGale's sister, that's what I'm talking about. Do me a favor, guys. After this is done, look up James DeGale's sister. She is 100. She's hot. Just had to say that. Hey guys, yeah. I don't know what her name is. Yeah, she is fire, right, Steve? Okay, I'm gonna type in Google search James DeGale sister. We'll see right now. I'll tell you guys his name. James DeGale's sister. What's her name? She's smoking hot, guys. Smoking hot. No name. I'm not seeing any name. I'm just seeing pictures. Oh, Eloise? Eloise. Eloise. Am I pronouncing that right? Eloise? Is that it? Damn, she is a good-looking woman. Okay. I get a question here, which is no, she's not chunky. Even though I haven't seen her backside, maybe the backside's chunky, which I have no problem with whatsoever. I actually prefer a chunky backside, you know? You got to get more pushing for that cushion there. So, yeah, she's fine, right, Sebastian? Okay. Floyd Money Mayweather. What do you make of Floyd posting those videos? Do you think he's hinting at a rematch? Most likely McGregor too. You know what? It's either two things. One thing, which might be the most obvious thing, which I want to think it's this, is that he's just staying in shape. He's just wanting to maintain his current shape, his current fitness. He doesn't want to get out of shape. He doesn't want to become that fat, retired old fighter. And he's just going to his gym, which he owns, to go and work out. I think that's the more obvious answer to your question. Though, you know, a fighter will often retire and say they're going to retire, and then something brings them back. Do I see a second McGregor fight? No. No, I don't. Not at all. I don't think the public, you, or you, I pointed to you when I meant you, you or me, I don't think we would buy a second Mayweather-McGregor fight. We all know if they fought 100 times, Conor McGregor would not win that fight. So it wouldn't make any sense. The only thing is he's staying in shape in case to fight the winner of this Canelo Triple G fight. And I always wondered if Floyd would do this, something similar to what Sugar Ray Leonard did, where he went away and then he came back and fought Hagler at middleweight. Maybe we could see that happen because of the video that was released where fans are starting to heckle Floyd about fighting Triple G. Triple G, though, he got Canelo to worry about in a rematch that, honestly, once again, it's 50-50. It's going to be tough, man, because Canelo is going to come in with a lot of confidence mentally, knowing that he took Gennady's best punches and he was able to hang in there with them, and he was able to neutralize a guy that many perceived that was going to kill him in the ring, that was technically so much better than him inside the ring. So he has a lot of things going for him in the rematch. But if Gennady wins that fight with Canelo, I see him going into a third fight with Canelo Alvarez, a rubber match. But I could also see a fight with Floyd, because people are bugging Floyd every time they see him to fight Gennady Golovkin, that he's scared of Gennady Golovkin. And I think those sort of things irritate Floyd Mayweather. Or he may see it as a, look, there's demand here. This is a good payday. There's demand here. This pay-per-view will sell. People are calling for Gennady Golovkin by name now. People randomly on the street saying, you are scared of Gennady Golovkin. So I think he might be thinking that, hey, stay in shape. Let's work. Let's work. If this Golovkin fight presents itself, why not? Do I think it's going to happen? I don't think so. I think Gennady Golovkin's too big. But Gennady Golovkin has said in the past that he would fight Floyd Mayweather at 154 pounds. Maybe with the retirement, Floyd not being as active as he is, maybe he'll gain a little bit more weight, and he'll be forced to fight at 160 pounds against Gennady Golovkin. Would you imagine if Floyd Mayweather fought Gennady Golovkin and he beat Gennady Golovkin for all the middleweight titles in the world? I think with that accomplishment, there'd be no argument that Floyd should deserve a spot at the very least, top 10 of all time At the very least, because to put him in the top 5, to put him in the top 3, you'll start very vicious arguments amongst people. But that would be a huge accomplishment. And I think, you know, honestly, like, to me, Sugar Ray Leonard is one of the all-time greats behind Ali and Joe Louis. I have not Joe Louis. Sugar Ray. I got Sugar Ray Robinson, I got Ali, I got Leonard, and I got Joe Louis. For me personally. But if Floyd were to fight Gennady Golovkin, beat the guy at 160 pounds, gets all the belts, that would put him in there, for me at least. That's a big accomplishment, because not only was the man champion in 2 weight divisions at the same time, because when he fought Canelo Alvarez, he fought for Canelo Alvarez's belt, and he was still welterweight champion of the world. So he was a world champion, active world champion in 2 divisions already. So that would be just the icing on the cake for Floyd if he were to do that. But I honestly do not think that would ever happen. Wishful thinking, I know, but hey, you know, strange shit has happened in the world. Like North Korea taking out Kim Jong-un, taking out his brother with that towel, putting it over his face, and then that's something out of a movie. That's crazy. All right, let's go to your questions. I'm going to go ahead and scroll up here. If you're tuning in right now, thank you so much for tuning in. Do me a big favor, follow us on social media at FightUpTV, at Hey It's Marcos V. That's my personal one as well. Give us a follow on Instagram and on Twitter. Also, we have our unboxing video. Unbox limited edition Reeboks. Only 200 made. We unboxed them. It's on the channel right now. This weekend, unboxing the gloves that Conor McGregor used in his fight with Floyd Mayweather. All right, let's get to the questions. Let's see here. Scrolling through. Give me a second, guys. Let's see here. First question. Tuma Tahitoa? Did I say that right, man? Let me know if I said that right. Do you think Manny will fight Jeff Horn again? I'm hearing from people that know Freddie really well. Alright, sorry about that, guys. I got a phone call. I wish there was a way to shut off phone calls and be able to do this live stream. Alright, like I mentioned, Tuma Tahitoa asked me if Manny will fight Jeff Horn again or if he's going to fight again. It's been a lot of talk, a lot of thinking from fans and from people in boxing if Manny's going to have another fight. Hearing from people that are close with Freddie, Freddie's not even sure if Manny's going to fight again because he's so busy with his Senate duties. We've seen news stories come out from Bob Arum saying that he would be okay with Manny Pacquiao retiring. He would support Manny if he were to say he's going to retire. So we don't know what's going to happen. I would think that Manny will probably have one more fight, a farewell fight, and I hope it's not Terrence Crawford because I think at this point Terrence Crawford might be a little bit too much for Manny Pacquiao. And I'm not a big fan of seeing fighters in their final fights going out just beat up. I don't like that being the last impression I have of them is just going out all bloodied and bruised and swollen, and it's not a very happy thought of a guy that you've seen in so many glorious moments go out the way he's going to go out like that. So I would avoid Terrence Crawford because Terrence Crawford is a beast. He's in his moment right now, moving up to 147 pounds. There's a lot of fights there, and just hoping that because Terrence is with ESPN that we're going to be able to see him fight guys like Garcia, Thurman, Spence, and these other guys, and that there's not a conflict of interest there, or because they're signed with different networks, they're not going to allow for those fights to happen. Haha, Gary M. Artem, choo-choo, motherfuckers. Did you guys catch that clip with Artem? Shit was funny, man. Let's see here. Did Jarrell Miller sign with Eddie Hearn? He's fighting on the Jacobs undercard. I don't think Jarrell did sign with Eddie Hearn, to be honest. I think he's just on there on the undercard. I hope Paulie sleeps Artem or McGregor, says Jello. Wickedy split. Training could make a retired fighter have that spark to come back. Mayweather better stop training before his sparks get lit again. That's a very good point. They go in the gym, they start sparring, they start working out, and they start seeing, hey, you know what? I still got it. I'm still sharp. I still feel good. They go in the sparring, and they're like, hey, you know, I'm actually doing really, really well. And that's what gets the wheels turning. That's what gets them thinking, hey, you know what? Maybe I can give another run at fighting again. I think at that point, it's the team, the management, even the family to be like, no, you said you're going to retire. Just say you're going to stay out. Just stay out. Avoid any further punishment. In terms of Floyd, he's already made close to $1 billion fighting. I just don't see any point, honestly, for him to come back and fight. Yeah, it'll enhance his leg. If he's going to come back and fight, it better be a worthy fight. It better not be like a circus event type fight, like the McGregor fight. If he's going to come back and fight the 147-pound champion. Come back and fight the 154-pound champion. Come back and fight the 160-pound champion. Do something that will add to your legacy and not just create a sideshow like this Mayweather-McGregor fight was. Douglas Chavez, how do you analyze Andrade's performance at 160 pounds? Andrade's good, man. He's really good. He's sharp. I just hope that he's able to get the fights that he deserves to get because he's a very tricky opponent and does not make you look good when you fight in there against him. Jello feels that Canelo will win by decision on paper. Richard feels that if Mayweather were to fight Gennady Golovkin, it'd be stupid. I don't know. Actually, I don't think so, man. I think you see how bad Gennady missed against Canelo? And Mayweather's 10 times faster than Canelo moving in and out. So I think we'd be seeing Gennady, yeah, coming forward, but he'd be missing a hell of a lot of punches. And though, yeah, Floyd, when he lands, it's not going to give Gennady any sort of damage, but it could end up being a fight similar to the fight that Canelo had with Floyd Mayweather if Mayweather were to fight Gennady Golovkin, to be honest. What do you guys think? Do you think that Gennady Golovkin would beat Floyd Mayweather? Let me know. Put your comments down here. Does GG Canelo draw 2 million buys? No, I think they did like over 1 million. I don't know what. The last number I saw was like 1.3. They didn't announce it, which means, well, look at it this way. You put on a pay-per-view, it does well, does phenomenal numbers. The first thing you do is go ahead and put out a release that how great of numbers you did. I believe they were expecting 2 million. They weren't going to get it. I could even tell you they weren't going to get that because of the traffic we were seeing on our channel. But when someone doesn't release numbers for a fight, it usually means something. Douglas Chavez feels that Gennady's way too big. Richard, you're saying that Mayweather's too old. A prime Mayweather would win against Gennady Golovkin, but how would a Gennady Golovkin and a Floyd Mayweather at this point in time fare against each other? That's what I'm asking. Steve, man, that's what I was talking about. They put out a press release saying that the news stories that came out that it was 1.3 million buys was wrong. So who knows how many buys they're not gonna. They haven't released it at this point. We're seeing Mayweather would beat Gennady Golovkin. Does it need Triple G? Sugar Ray Robinson is Wiki's favorite fighter of all time. Let's see here. Khan, only one who has the speed. I want to see Amir Khan back soon. I always like watching Amir Khan fight. Frederick Young, you're the best, man. Honestly, my favorite YouTube channel. Thank you, Frederick. Really appreciate it, bro. Are you rocking the Reeboks around the streets? Asked Sebastian. Hell no, dude. I haven't even worn those things. I've worn those things one time, and I looked at them. One, they don't. You got to break them in. Two, I started thinking, I'm like, you know what? These are really nice freaking shoes. I don't want to wear them anywhere. I don't want to get them dirty. That's the thing. Like, boxing gyms are dirty. You know, they're if you go to an old school boxing gym, and I go to an old school boxing gym. If you guys are living in the Southern California area, go to the La Habra Boxing Club. That's where I go to. But you know, it's dirty. It's grungy. It smells. I don't want to get those dirty. They're too nice. Gary M. What'd you think about European cards on Saturday? Oh, yeah, Anthony Joshua defending his heavyweight title against Carlos Takam. Takam? Something like that. Of course, Anthony Joshua should win. Josh was saying that he expects a tougher fight than his Pulev fight. I think what he means by that is this guy's a more rugged fighter. It'll be a tougher fight because he'll push him like that, as opposed to Pulev, who Joshua wanted to box against and show off his boxing skills. Will BLAF, Dana White, ever give you UFC press credentials? We have too many reporters in MMA that have no clue about fighting. I hope, man. We'll see. You know, I'd like to cover more MMA shows, but that's a whole different battle there that I gotta speak to. The UFC press handles things a little bit different than the boxing press. We've been credentialed to UFC fights before in the past, but I just hear the treatment that a lot of the press people get on the MMA side of things, and it's just like, you know. But I'll make a promise to you guys. We are going to get more MMA content on the channel, okay? So we will do that for you. I'll work on something this week. Let's see here. MacTubeX. Will you be covering the GSP versus Bisping card? It got 3 title fights and is a super card. Yes, it is a super card. I'm so psyched for that fight. But, and it sucks, I'll be at a wedding. And I can't get out of the wedding. It's on November 4th, and I have a wedding. I've known about this wedding way before the GSP Bisping fight, so I'm not going to be able to cover it. Hopefully, I'll be relying on you guys to give me updates on that fight. It's an interesting fight, man. You got George against Bisping. My real question, and I've said this throughout the whole time that this fight was announced. At first, people had a problem with the fight. I don't have a problem with the fight whatsoever, because you have a champion in George St. Pierre who was dominant, who left on top in his prime, coming back and now seeing if he can be as dominant in a different division. And I understand why a lot of the MMA media had a problem with that fight being made. They wanted to see Bisping versus Romero. I understand that, but you also got to give nod to George as a champion and what he did in the prior division. It's not like he's coming in as a bum or on 3 losses to a row. He's coming in as a guy who dominated everybody in his division, who didn't lose the belt, and he left, and he's coming back to challenge the champion in another division. I don't see how people had a problem with that in the first place. Oh, yeah, he needs to have his mandatory. To me, that's a way better fight. That's a way bigger challenge. There's a lot more intrigue in there because we don't know what shape here George is. We don't know how much ring rust will play a factor. We don't know how much weight will be a factor. We don't know if George can keep Bisping down. Bisping has great takedown defense. You take Bisping down, pops right back up. He seems to be faster than George St. Pierre. So I want to see if George can keep him down there and do what he normally does, the wet blanket technique. What is it? What would they call lay and pray? If he could lay and pray Bisping, I want to see if he's able to do that, and I want to see if he can be as dominant as he was when he was a welterweight. Oh, the other fights in that card: Cody Garbrandt, T.J. Dillashaw, excellent fight, and then Joanna versus Rose. Gonna be a great fight. Don't count Rose out either. What are your thoughts of Cecilia Brækhus? I saw that clip of that girl kissing her, and to be honest, if I was that girl, I would have kissed Cecilia too. Did I go to Wembley for AJ Klitschko? No, I didn't, man. I need to go to an AJ fight, to be honest. A lot of bloggers covering MMA. You know, I'll refrain from saying anything about that. Let's see here. Linares versus Terry Flanagan. Deal nearly done. Did you hear it? Yes, I did. And with Mikey Garcia saying no to the Cotto fight and that deal that Golden Boy presented to him, that's the next logical fight that makes sense for Jorge Linares. You go to Flanagan, try to get the Mikey Garcia fight again, and then move up and wait. And we'll see what happens. Is Jermell Charlo top 10 in your opinion after knocking out Lubin? He's 30-0. Certainly, I think he should be in the discussion, but I think his brother should be in the discussion as well. I think his brother, Jermall Charlo, out of the two brothers, it's funny. I think I seen an interview where Jermall even said it himself, like, yeah, I'm better than my brother. Though, if you're brothers and you're highly competitive, of course you're going to say that. But from looking at the two, I think the Jermall has a little bit better of a jab, and he's a little bit more explosive than Jermell. Let's see here. Kush Arcade, did I watch the Machado versus Corrales fight over the weekend? Actually, I was watching the HBO telecast right up until I did this live stream with you guys. So I'm going to go ahead and catch it. No, I didn't. I heard it was an upset. I don't know anything about the Puerto Rican fighter, Machado. I know that Corrales was favored to win the fight coming in, and then he got the surprise. So I'm looking forward to watch that fight and see what Machado's all about, because in the video that I saw too, he said that all but 2 of his wins have been by decision, which means he's gotten like 15 or 16 knockouts in total of 18 fights. So there's star potential there. When you see a Puerto Rican fighter that's knocking people out like that, that tells you like, hey, you know, this guy can end up being something. No, I'm not gonna do that, Jello. I like Ariel. He's a good people. Who would win, Timothy Bradley or Sean Porter? That would have been a awesome fight. Bradley against Porter? Jesus. I'm like picturing the fight in my head right now. Bradley would be in and out, moving in and out, landing flurries, trying to get out. Porter would be weaving in and out, trying to get to the body, get to the head. Would try to grind out Timothy Bradley, keep him against the ropes, and fight his fight. That would have been a great fight. Who would I win? Who would I pick winning that fight? Man, that's another 50-50 fight. You know, Bradley might have not had the power to keep Sean off of him. And Sean maybe would have been able to grind out Timmy, to be honest. Because Timmy wasn't the biggest puncher. I could see Tim winning a split decision, very close on points, because he's just landing the better shots. It'd be something similar, I think, to the Thurman fight, to be honest. Wickedy, yeah, we're homies. You're my friend. The Racer Nerd, Loma or Rigo? I don't know. That's a hard fight to call. Yeah, GSP, you know, could end up. It's like the perfect moment, you know. You got McGregor kind of on break right now, and then in comes George St. Pierre to kind of take over the audience that he not lost, but went away from for what the 3 years that he was away. Tong Yang, dude, we were just talking about that. Porter and Bradley. Let's see here. Vincent, yeah, we talked about Heather Hardy, man. Tough loss for her. Excuse me, made the point that I felt that was the wrong type of fight to put Heather in. And the red flag went off immediately when they said that the girl that she was fighting was a black belt in Taekwondo. And I felt like, oh, man, like, why did they agree to this fight? You got a girl that's coming over to boxing, has very limited kickboxing experience, and you're putting her against a girl that is very well versed in kicks. And as a boxer, you lean down to the side a lot. You know, you're just still used to those moments, those movements, I mean. And she got caught. The same thing. She threw a jab. She moved down. Boom. Got kicked, broke her nose. So I felt it was a bad matchup. Whoever made that matchup is not a good matchup. They should have declined that fight. They should, from fight 1 to 5, it should just be against girl brawlers that'll fight on the feet and give Heather more time to become acclimated to the kicks and the ground game of MMA. But that one was for you, Vincent. Let's see here. No problem, Gary. That's what I'm here for. Combat Fanatic, would a league format similar to the UFC benefit boxing to remedy the ducking in the sport? Thing is, with boxing, it's hard to have one unifying organization. PBC tried to do it, but it didn't work out. And there's still other fighters that will have belts. It's just it's a huge mess, because you have all these conflicting interests. You have all these conflicting promoters. You have all these different champions. I think, honestly, the first step towards having anything close to that is having one sanctioning body. I wish a sanctioning body could end up buying out all these sanctioning bodies, so there's only one sanctioning body. I think that would alleviate a lot of the problems, because there's super champions, there's interim champions, regular champions, diamond champions, silver champ. Got all these belts, and it confuses the hell out of people. People are like, how the hell is there 4 world champions? Who's the main world champion then? That's the biggest problem. So I think a lot of it could be solved with just one sanctioning body. The other way, because that's not going to happen, because all these sanctioning bodies have interest. People, they employ people, they get sanctioning fees. There's a lot of money to be dealt with. The other way around it is the establishment of a federal commission. And a federal commission mandates now rankings, who should fight who next. I think that would be another way to go about it. But you have all these separate state commissions that have different interests as well. So it would be extremely difficult to get them all on the same page. I think if they do and were able to establish a federal commission, the commissions would have to be broken up into regions, where it's like, here is the western region of commissions, here's the Midwest. It would have to be like 3 or 4 regions across the U.S., and those 3 and 4 regions across the U.S. report to the federal commission. So that way the state commissions still have their, what would be the right way to put it, not sovereignty, but they'd still have the autonomy to be able to handle things the way they want to handle, but they still report to a federal commission. Let's see here. Gary M. Bob Arum talking big fights for Ryota Murata next year with title win on Saturday. Yeah, but it might be too early for Ryota, man, to be going into those fights. They need to build him, and they are. He's still very green, but they need to build him. Mac Tubex, who in your opinion are the top 3 biggest stars in boxing and can push it more to the mainstream and compete with MMA? Canelo. Floyd's retired, so you can't put Floyd. Anthony Joshua. Pacquiao. Pacquiao is on the way out. If you take out Floyd and Pacquiao, I would say Canelo, Anthony Joshua, and you know what? Whether you guys like it or not, Adrian Broner. Dude, Adrian Broner sells. Adrian Broner gets numbers. You put Adrian Broner on pay-per-view, he's going to do extremely well. I don't know why they haven't put it on pay-per-view yet. So those would be the 3. Porter versus Granados. I expect Sean Porter to beat Granados and stop him. Pedro Infante IV. Future Ronda Rousey. Boxing? No. Future Ronda Rousey might be professional wrestling, if you've been reading what's been coming out. Let's see here. Luciano. It's in Portuguese. He says, good night, Guerrero. Something about training at Floyd's Academy. I don't know. Vincent S. Michael Venom Page's boxing debut. Yes, I did see it. Surprised. I didn't know that Ismael Salas was training Michael for that fight, but it makes sense because Salas is training David Haye for this rematch with Tony Bellew. He looked good, though I don't like the fact that he had his hands. This is his style, but I think you can get away with it a little bit more in MMA because of how long his reach is, but I'm interested to see if he's going to stop MMA completely and just make the jump to boxing, because I see him having a certain amount of success in boxing because he has freakishly long arms, and he's not bad actually, but the guy they put in front of him was like 211-5 or something like that, so they didn't put anybody high quality against him in that fight. But I was impressed from what I saw. Got to give it to him. I'll give credit where credit is due. He did pretty good in his debut. Yeah, interim undisputed WBC Super Diamond Champion of the Galaxy. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about, man. All these title belts and all these champions. It's a headache. Gary M. Yeah, they got to build him, man. No, for reals, Gary, dude, Broner gets numbers, bro. You'll be surprised. Pacquiao was the top attraction 3 years ago. Yeah, but Pacquiao is still a big name. He's still one of the few guys that can get major news media coverage when he fights or when he's in town or when he has an event. So, all right, guys, it's been an hour of our live chat here. I got to get back to work, even though this is work as well. From now on, every Monday, we will be doing this. Okay? Though I need to hear feedback from you guys about time. If you preferred for this to be a little bit more earlier, like at noon or 12:30, or if you like it being at 3:30 in the afternoon. So I need to hear feedback on you guys to figure out what's the best time to go ahead and do these things, so we can get a lot more of you in here to interact and chat with us when we do these live chats. The other thing is to make sure to follow us right now at Fight Hub TV on Twitter and Instagram. Make sure to follow us as well. Follow me as well. I got my words all mixed up. At Hey, it's Marcos V. Walking Dead was awesome. I just want to put that out there. I'm a huge Walking Dead fan. Talking Dead was great, seeing all the characters that they killed off come back. Dragon Ball Super was legit. I know we talked about Dragon Ball Super last week with one of you. If you're in this chat, say what's up. But that fight, Kaba getting knocked out by Frieza was like, what the... And him going Super Saiyan 2 gets me thinking, is Khalifa and Kel, are they going to fuse and that's the new Super Warrior, or is it going to be these robots that everybody keeps talking about? But Dragon Ball Super is legit. Halloween. What is everyone going to be for Halloween? I have no idea what I'm doing for Halloween. No idea. But look out for videos. We got more videos. I got to dig in through what I got here, but I do have videos that I'm going to upload for you guys in about 30 minutes at 5:15 p.m. Pacific time. I have videos for you again. Every Monday, 3:30. Jello, a robot character, hopefully. I don't know, man. Not sure if I'm cool with seeing a Gundam fight these guys. And even when they introduce the robots in the first Terminate. I can't even talk right now. Give me a second. I'm not going to be able to say it. I can't talk right now. Tournament. There. Jesus Christ. The first one they had where they brought the robot. And I was like, why is there a freaking robot in this thing, man? Kaba Super Saiyan 2. Wasn't Super Saiyan 3. But Kaba got knocked out. But I didn't even know Kaba went Super Saiyan 2 because his hair didn't get long. But I started to remember when Gohan fought Cell, he had a lot of the electricity, the blue electricity, even though Gohan's hair grew. So at first I was questioning if Kaba even went Super Saiyan 2. But after looking at it again and then reading the comments online, I was like, oh, okay. He did go Super Saiyan 2. Even though I don't like how there's no continuity, it seems, in this Dragon Ball universe. You have a guy go Super Saiyan. Everybody who has gone Super Saiyan 2 has had their hair grow out long. You have this one guy go Super Saiyan 2. His hair doesn't get longer, and you just see the blue electricity everywhere. So, we'll see what happens. Is Vegeta going to go Ultra Instinct? I don't know, man. I have no... Did you know there's one more form above Ultra Instinct? I didn't know this. I saw a video the other day. It's Limit Breaker. What the fuck is that? Limit Break. Is that his ultimate? Have you heard anything about that? Yeah, that's true. Yeah, I didn't know that. With the lightning, I had to recall back to the Cell games when Gohan did it. And then I was like, oh shit, he is number 2. Complete tangent here with you guys. I enjoyed Dragon Ball Super. I enjoyed the Dragon Ball Z. Yeah, I know, Sebastian. I know how we're like grown ass old men talking about Dragon Ball. But you know what? This Dragon Ball, the new series, the arcs have been fucking awesome. Been great. It's been good watching. Yeah, Vincent, another power up, man. Limit Breaker. Yeah, Dragon Ball Z has changed a lot, man. It's brand new. So if you haven't seen it, they started a brand new one. This is right after Goku beat Majin Buu. There's Gods of Destruction. Frieza comes back to life. There's a form past Super Saiyan 3. They turn into gods, but a god can turn Super Saiyan, and even above that, they have another freaking form. So it's getting a little weird because like they introduce like Saiyans on from a different universe, and these Saiyans from a different universe can somehow magically go Super Saiyan and Super Saiyan 2 without much work, even though it took Goku to get Krillin fucking blow up right in front of him to get him go Super Saiyan. Gohan to get Super Saiyan 2. You know how much it took for them to get Super Saiyan, Vegeta, all that training and all that? And these guys come in and they're turning Super Saiyan and Super Saiyan 2 like it's nobody's, like it's nothing. Boom, there you go, you know, so it makes no sense. Alright, that's the tangent that we went off here about Dragon Ball. No, you know what, Vincent? I thought that Goku Black arc was actually really good. Though the ending... That's the other thing about the ending. Limit Breaker's fan made. What? Son of a bitch. Okay, they got me. So, that Goku Black arc, alright? So, the little guy, Xeno, destroys that universe. And they take the time machine back. And I was like, well, wait a second. If he destroyed the universe, how is Trunks going back in time to that? He'll go back in time and there's not going to be a world there because Xeno destroyed that universe. So it made no sense. Am I the only one that caught this? No sense whatsoever. Unless you go back to the Future 2. Okay? So in Back to the Future 2, you know how they go, and I'm a huge Back to the Future fan. So in Back to the Future 2, they get the sports almanac. Old Biff finds it. He goes back to 1952 or 1950 or 1951. He gives old Biff gets young Biff the almanac, and at that point the timeline splits. Okay, so they go back. They try to take the almanac from Biff, and they go back to 1983. But when they go back to 1983, it's the timeline of the moment Biff placed that first bet. That's when the timeline split. So they had to go back to prior to that, to the very moment that Biff gave young Biff the almanac. So if you apply that to what happened in Dragon Ball Super when Xeno destroyed that universe, he destroyed that universe's timeline. So if they go back, does that mean once he goes back in the time machine and he goes back in the future, it's their regular timeline now, and there is still a universe 6, a universe 7. That's my whole thing, because if you destroyed that universe in that timeline, it would make sense if it was a different timeline and they go back to the original timeline before the two timelines broke apart in the space-time continuum. You guys get me, or you're lost? I kind of understand, and I only kind of understand because of me watching Back to the Future, where the timeline, the space-time continuum splits up. So yeah, it is ridiculous, man. So yeah, that's physicist time travel talk right there, but it still gets me wondering, okay? Because Trunks should have no home to go to. That's the thing. If he goes back and then he goes back into the future, there shouldn't be anything there unless he goes back from the Dragon Ball, that timeline that they took the time machine back. So that gets me the other question. At one point, did that timeline split apart? And Racer Noob, Oob is coming. Yeah, that's how they're going to end the series. Alright, these chats are open to any sort of conversation, any sort of talk. I don't want it to just be about fighting. It could be about anything, to be honest. So, that was a good little talk right there. Yeah, Gundams. Yeah, Gundam coming up. Yeah, swiggity swooty. Some deep shit, man. Don't even get me started talking about aliens and ghosts and shit, man. That I can go on for hours on that shit, because I used to like see some shit and then I don't know. I have a very skeptical point of view now. Yeah, love Stranger Things. I used to live in a haunted house, bro. Paranormal Activity is a scary movie. I used to live in a haunted house in college. Everyone said it was haunted. I used to have some weird dreams there, but I never physically saw a ghost. But I like to think because we were all in college, a lot of us, majority of the time, were drunk, that they were just really, really drunk when they were saying that they were seeing things or felt things when they were sleeping, when it was actually one of us messing with them, writing on their forehead or or throwing eggs at them or something like that. So I think that's what it was. So yeah, that's my little tangent on Henhouse. Halloween's always almost up though too, you guys. So, all right, I think if you guys have any more questions, do I like Broly or Kale? Broly, God, I was hoping that at some point Kale would be like, oh yeah, well there's someone even stronger than me, my brother, and out comes Broly out of nowhere, you know. So, all right, yo. I gotta upload videos for you guys, man. Wickedy Split, you asked some funny questions, man. Okay. Good chat, guys. Some random good stuff. That's what I should title these chats. I'm gonna title them Stuff Chat. When do you think the Grand Priest will fight? I don't know. He's an angel. He's stronger than Whis. So who knows? There'll be no contest. That's the other thing that's like, what's the limit? It's going to get to a certain point that Goku can't fight anybody anymore. Like, they're going to keep doing these new forms. Like, it's going to mess up. It's just going to mess up shit, man. It's just going to mess up shit. Grand Priest is really a villain. It looks like it. It looks like he has an ulterior motive. To me, that's what the vibe that I get. So, we'll see. Maybe the Angels are going to fight or some shit. Who fucking knows? Did you guys see it, by the way? Was it any good? I haven't had a chance to see it. But more crazy shit we will talk about on Monday, because we're not just going to be talking about fights. Okay? And I want to say big ups to you guys for supporting, tuning in. Thank you so much. I got work to do. I really got to go this time, guys. So, this weekend, Anthony Joshua versus Carlos Takam. Heavyweight title. We'll have a recap on Monday. Sebastian, thank you for asking. Yes, I think he is okay. Though I don't see him anywhere. But he puked in the middle of this live chat and I had to go pick it up. Alright, guys. Follow me at Hey It's Marcos V. Follow us at at Fight Up TV. At hey. I gotta go. Alright, watch the unboxing video, the limited edition Reeboks that we got out. We'll have videos out for you in 30 minutes. And we're working on a watermelon bit for you guys. Thank you so much. Really appreciate it, you guys. Give us a like on Facebook as well. Facebook.com/FightUpTV. And we will see you guys next Monday. Every Monday, we will do this live Q&A chat. Every Monday, 3:30 Pacific time. So, thank you guys so much. Have a great rest of your week. Be safe. Don't get too crunked up this weekend. Big Halloween weekend. And just be nice to each other, guys. All right? Take care.